Alright, guys. We're live here at NAKD. Good to have you guys on. Good to have you guys in. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Click the icon if you make new videos. I'd really, really appreciate that. Let me go. So make sure to subscribe. Like the channel. That helps the NAKD trading community go a long way there. I appreciate that so much. Where are we at here? 1482. There it is. Alright, the 11th. Alrighty, guys. Green day today. Let's see here. I'm going over today's trading day of 47 points. Alright, guys. Hopefully you guys had a great trading day out there. We're just getting started here at NAKD. Alright, guys, give me 1 second here. I'm trying to get everything set up. Hope you guys had a great trading day out there. Hopefully you guys traded well. Hopefully you guys are studying every day to get better. Let's do whatever. Okay, there's that. I'm live. All right. Then I'm going to go to TikTok and go live here. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Good to have you guys on. Good to have you guys in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying today's trading day. You know, I saw that some of you guys are more red than yesterday. Yesterday we had a nice 450 green and 120 red. Today it looks like we have a lot of people didn't vote, but where is it? 66 green and 101 red. So yesterday it's about 75% of you guys were green. Today it's about 60% are red. So you know, I want to make sure you guys are studying, putting in the time, making sure you're prepared every single day. To make sure you're at your best to make the most proper trades you can make, to make the smartest decisions you can. You know, that's what we preach here at NAKD is for you guys to make the smartest decisions every single day, and for you guys to study and to learn. And every trade that I take is data driven. I might not be the most analytical person out there. I might not be the most, you know, analytical, you know, you might not see all the spreadsheets like some people, but trust me, every trade that I take is data driven. Every trade concept that I take is data driven. So it's all just driven based upon previous studying that that I've done. And at the end of the day, you know, that is what it is. You know, trading comes with a lot of time, a lot of studying, and a lot of hard work. And you know, it comes down to how bad do you want it, right? So hopefully you guys traded well. Hopefully you guys are studying well. Hopefully you guys are, you know, I don't like to see that like 90 or 60% of you guys were red today. At least the votes that I saw. Diego the Bull is one of my students here at NormagnalTrading.com. And he said, "Hey Cam, nice green day for me. Studying is the key to my success." And I don't know anybody who's had success in trading that hasn't studied. There's no going around it. There really isn't. There's no just, I can just do this and voila, right? I'm self-made. I've studied and studied and studied and studied and studied and studied. But at the end of the day, guys, nothing ever prepared me more, nothing ever created more opportunity to me than study, study, study. Literally nothing has ever created anything more than study, 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 working hard and go from there. And people ask me, well, what is the studying material that I use? Well, the thing is, guys, there's YouTube. Just type in on YouTube how to day trade, how to swing trade, how to long-term invest. There's so much content out there. I have a course. You can look at that. The keys to my success go like this. I've bought other people's courses. I've probably studied hundreds of different traders. Come on, Nietzsche. Come here. Come on. I probably studied hundreds of different traders on YouTube. I probably spent more time studying on YouTube than anywhere else. And what do I type in? I just type in, how to day trade, how to swing trade, just like I said. And then people that are doing good, I just continue to follow and continue to learn from. And I've moved on from a lot of those traders, but I still push forward. I still try and find, every day to make every day better than yesterday. I still got to study. But guys, the most valuable studying you could ever do is just to go back and look at Tilray, go back and look at GRAL, go back and look at IFMK, go back and look at SOS, go back and look at OCGN. Go back and look at all today's price action. Every day recap the price action that you saw, right? Price action is the most valuable studying you could ever do, in my opinion. First off, it's free. You don't have to pay for it if you just look at everything that happened in one day. Second off, using Thinkorswim on demand is another great feature to go back and look at price action from days, months, and years in the past. Okay? There's never... You could study 24/7 in the stock market. There is not enough studying. Go back and study GVO. Go back and study UAVS. Go back and study MVIS. Go back and study PRTY. I mean, those charts that I just listed were basically multi-month, multi-year swing trades. Yeah, Enzo, I know. I'll be on. Don't worry about that. I got you. And then, but yeah. At the end of the day, it comes down to, and this is things that I've done. I've done everything that I'm saying, okay? But anyways, it doesn't just come naturally, and people are always asking me, how do you do this? Well, it just came from studying. As simple as that. I put in the time. I put in the effort. But the reality is 90% of traders fail, and I'm probably part of the 0.001%. And again, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Trade at your own risk. Have a plan, a process, and a strategy. And let's go over today's... Yeah, someone asked, why does meat ship a short tail? I don't know. I got the cat like that. I don't know. But my cat is here on the stream again, if you guys can hear her purring. She's always here, making sure I'm doing all right. Gotta love Michi. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, anyways, guys, so let's go ahead and go over today's trading day. Okay? So I didn't trade too much. So I want to go ahead and let's look at the main trade that I made, which was OCGN. And I'll go ahead and explain to you guys the thought process that I had on OCGN. Okay? Let's go back here. So, OCGN today. Well, first off, I tried to explain this to you guys in chat. I tried to explain this to you guys, but it's easier to do this live. So, on the 1 year, okay, 1, 2, third red day, former parabolic runner, massive amount of volume, as SSR, I believe, looking for a short squeeze, right? Day 3 parabolic. So, what I mean by that, so this thing went parabolic, and then it's had a daily candle of 1 red day, daily candle of 2 red days, and daily candle of 3 red days. And on that third red day, I generally look for a red to green move. That's where my percentages are on my side. Okay? Guys, like I always say, everything that I do is data driven. Okay? So I've known former parabolic runners on day 3, okay, of a red day from the first parabolic move, which is right here, can go red-green and can squeeze pretty good with a lot amount of liquidity. And what happened, guys? It's exactly what we had. This right here, okay, this move right here was all data-driven. I don't know for sure or how far or if it goes through high day. I don't know any of that. I'm just trying to put percentages on my side. And it's just like GameStop or it's just like everything else. I trade with percentages. I trade with studying that I've used in the past. And I trade with data that's on my side. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that everything's right that I trade. It doesn't mean that I'm always right. It doesn't even mean I'm right 50% of the time. I know my risk reward. I know my process. And I know my plan. And you guys all have to build that over time. But you guys can see here. So Tilray, a nice little winner, 46.57 washout long. I made a $36,000 washout on the first trade. So Tilray had a strong wash, and I was actually watching this one out of the gate. So I was longing these dips and then these dips, and then I scaled on this pop right there. So that was the first $36,000 winner. And then Tilray, I took a $43,000 loser. It basically just went green-red on the day. And then OCGN here. So I knew this thing was setting up. Okay, so OCGN, I knew it was on watch today. And I told Jordan this yesterday when we went skiing. I said, watch OCGN. I think it have a possibility. Okay, and liquidity could be pretty insane, and it was insane. I mean, look at the amount of shares just being churned. It's pretty impressive, guys. It's pretty impressive stuff. But today, what I wish I got in the washout, yeah, but I didn't. I didn't really like the way it was looking. I kind of got washed up in here, and then I said, all right, I'm going to wait for this thing to set up. Now, I started to get interest when we started to peak above VWAP. So we kind of consolidated. We weren't selling off, which is in my interest. I said if we consolidated and if this thing didn't sell off, I'm going to start, and so we start to perk a little bit, I'm going to start to get long. And this candlestick is where I started to get long. And the reality is I had about a 969 average. And I think I had, how many shares did I have? So, I think I had 63,000 shares. 217,000 shares I had roughly. So I had about a $2 million position on this one. And the reason being is because I had confidence. Okay? Now here's exactly what happens. So it starts to perk. And then once we start to perk up in here, I'm adding. So I started to see this thing consolidate, and I'm like, this thing that might have just been kind of just a fake out. And then I'm like, all right, well, let's see if this thing consolidates, and we kind of just get no price action. I'm slowly adding a little bit in here, not a ton, but a little bit. Okay? And then once I started to see this perk, I was like, okay, there's some buyers, and I started to see the bidder step. I'm like, okay, there's some interest. And I started to add right in here. Once I started to see some of the bullish price action, some buyers starting to step up in here, I said, okay, we've consolidated. We showed a little interest there above VWAP. Then we are not breaking above VWAP. We're consolidating. And now we're finally starting to see more buyers step up and want a piece of the action. And that's where I started adding right in here. I ended up with about a 969 average. I'll explain to you what happened in the trade zero and why it says that it's, on that trade, it's a 1076 average. But I'll explain that in a second. So, and then I'm not kidding you. I went to go do a little meditation. I saw this thing pop up, and right in here, I like to do about 5 minutes of meditation every day. So I went to my couch and I did a little bit of meditation for about 5 minutes or so. And I said, that to me was bullish. And once I did a little bit of meditation, I literally, right in here, right at 11:38. So right there, I thought this thing was halted. And I looked at it on my phone, and this is no lie. I literally ran back into my office and started to sell. And then I was like, wait a minute. Now we have a nice dip opportunity. So I rebought with about a 1080, 1090 average. And then once we broke through the highs, guys, I actually had a little malfunction with my brokerage account. I then resold through the highs at 1188. So there was two trades to be made in there. I don't know why it's saying, when I average up and average down and I take trades that I haven't completely closed out, it says OCGN gain of 656,000. Is that right? Or no? Sorry. OCGN, where you at? So OCGN, you can see there, $281,791 gain on that trade right there. So 972 in and then 1102 out. And then I took one more trade right there, 1076 in, 1161 out. So, that was my trade. Now this thing kept going on me, and it could, and I'm not going to lie to you. It was hard for me not to chase right here. I wanted to get this because I was thought maybe we go through, because I've seen stocks go, sometimes you get a mid-candle breakout. What's a mid-candle breakout? What's a former parabolic on a day 2 or day 3 red day, and it goes straight from the lows to new highs in one day. So I thought potentially this thing might do that. I wasn't for sure. I didn't know. You never really know. But that was on the back of my mind. So I almost chased when we broke the highs here. Would have made a little bit, but I could have gotten dumped on too. So, and this one might not be done. I don't know. But here's why I started taking profits. If I had the mindset of the GameStop trade, which I took yesterday, which was just hold until I get to a certain point. So yesterday, I wanted GameStop to hit $60 a share. I was up over $500,000 on this trade, which is 50% of my account. Pay attention to the percentages. I apologize. If I talk P&L, I need to talk percentage more because percentage is more important, especially for you guys to understand and learn. P&L might not be relatable, but anyways, so then this thing moves up, comes on right back down, right? And in here, I'm thinking, that we're going to get $60, I'm going to scale out. Well, wrong. Comes slamming back down, I stop out and then take a re-entry up here, average up higher, and then I scale a little piece in here and basically got trapped in the side action. I still made decent amount, but this was in my memory today, saying, why don't you take profit? Why don't you take profit, right? Because I got slammed in there and slammed in there. So today I had that in the back of my head, and, sure, I might have held longer, but here's what I did. I took profit. I just took it off the table because it paid out so quickly. Took it off there, and then I took it off 1188 in there. And that was it. And I stopped with any of the trading. So that was my trade on OCGN. So I'm going to watch it tomorrow. But when you get an SSR stock, guys, these things can pop and they can drop. Okay, you have to be aware of that, especially on day 2 or day 3. Let's see. So, and then the last trade I took was Tilray, the last decent trade. So I really thought that the weed sector was going to turn around. And in here, my goal was $42 a share. At least $42 a share and maybe scale the rest over VWAP. We had sold off from 77 down to this price. And without going into too much depth, this isn't the same trade as GameStop. Want to know? So I was trying to explain today. So GameStop, we had this move in here from 113 and we snapped straight back up to over $300 in about an hour, right? Obviously, it's not the same price action, but it's the same concept, right? If you go back and look at how fast that happened, let's see here. It literally happened in like 30 minutes. And this was just, obviously it's different price action, right? You can just tell with the candles, it's just 1 minute. But you can just tell with the candles, 1 minute price action, it's insane, right? And I'm looking for the same concept. But, it sold off, it sold off differently, right? It's not just all at once and then a snap back. It's kind of slowly selling off and slowly selling off. New low after new low after new low, right? So I'm thinking on Tilray that I was watching this all morning and I took paper cut losses on the way down with this thing. And finally, right in here, I was explaining this in chat. I said, look at all the churning going on with the volume right here. A lot of buyers and sellers exchanging buys and sells throughout this price action in here. And it was like low after low after low. And then we had one more low right there before the perk up. Now, this wasn't even a real perk up. And I'm kind of disappointed that this didn't pan out. But once I kind of saw how long this was consolidating, I was like, this is insane. Like, if this was strong, this would have moved off this up here to retest the lows and break through the highs, or maybe one more retest and break through the highs up in here. But you can just see with how long it took and how actually not very far it actually moved. We're talking 20 cents every candle. GameStop was making $5, $10, $20 every candle. Okay? Or another example would be Sava, right? If we go back and look at Sava, right in here, you can see, we had a sell-off, and then we had just a bullet straight to 62 and then to 70, right? That is a pretty solid bounce. With Tilray, it wasn't quite showing that. Like, it was taking a while. The amount of time that it was taking and the amount of effort was being put in every time it kind of re-perked, and the amount of time it took, I was like, the longer it took I was looking for big green candles. Like, we're talking like $1 a share potentially. And we weren't getting any of that. So to me, this thing was indecisive. And it wasn't a bounce play. Okay, it perked through $40. I took a piece off just because I didn't like any of this right in here. Then we got a re-perk through the highs, and I took some more off. And then once we got back, I said, okay, if we get back under $40 a share, with this kind of like slow price action in here, we're not seeing those big rips and the big short squeeze, then $40 is now my new support. So right in here, I was like, if we break through 40, because we broke through it once, okay, and we broke through it twice. If we re-break down through $40 again, then that's my stop out. The rest of my shares, which is the majority of my size. I only scaled out about a third in between the pop there and the pop there. So I still had about 2/3 left there. And I said, $40 a share is my next stop loss. Because of this ugly action, because we got 1, 2, I'm not gonna hold it again for a third re-break under $40. It's just not gonna happen. Not after not seeing these big candles like GameStop and like Sava, right? So I stopped out right in there, and that was it. And then I relonged it one more time, right in here, and then took like a loss on that when we broke below. And I was like, you know what? That thing is officially confirmed to me. It looks kind of ugly. It didn't rule out that it could potentially bounce. And as I explained in the chat, this thing could potentially bounce tomorrow. But if you look at Sava, they don't always have to bounce. I mean, I still think Tilray can bounce, and I think Tilray can make a Sava move. Maybe not today, but so we had kind of the sell-off on Sava that day, and then we had the big move up. So if we get a strong sell-off on Tilray, maybe the 25s, 22s maybe tomorrow, I might look for a Sava-type bounce where you kind of buy the wash and then sell the rip, right? But we'll see. We'll see. Preferably, I'd like one more strong down day tomorrow, and then see something bounce on, maybe Monday. But, and that was basically it. I took some losses on LEDS, or I took a tiny little win. I really thought since we broke above, we've been making weird price action. Keep this one on watch, guys. Don't take this off your radar. You see the volume here and the weird price action? Something's up there, so I'll keep that on watch. And then Space, I took like a $30,000 loss into the close. I thought we'd get above the highs into the close, where we're so close to breaking the highs. It's got a lot of shorts into it. I thought we would. I took a massive amount of share size and took that off. SOS, I went to the grocery store today and I played this one. I longed it right in there. Took it off through the highs for a $16,000 winner. Then HYLN, I was actually long in this one at, let's see, HYLN. 1769 out 1838. You can see there I started selling off right there, and then I just ripped right through the highs. So that was today's trading day, guys. Hope you guys learned something. Those of you guys on TikTok can join me on YouTube Cam the Man, YouTube Cam the Man. Those of you guys on TikTok can join me on YouTube Cam the Man, YouTube Cam the Man. I wonder if you guys can hear Michi purr. Hopefully she doesn't get scared. You gonna purr? Or did it just scare you with dropping that? Alright, well, I guess she doesn't want to purr. Whatever. She was just purring. Anyways, guys. Jose, I don't really know. I'm going to go Meechie. Michi. People call her Mitchie. People call her Mish. I've heard it all. It's because I use my phone, RJ. Those of you guys on TikTok can join me on YouTube Cam the Man, YouTube Cam the Man, with an IE. Other than that, guys, do you guys have any questions? I'll answer the first 3 questions that I get. First 3 questions that I get, I'll answer. So first come, first serve. Again, guys, study hard tonight. I always got to check in, make sure you guys are studying. SNDL going up. Let's look at that stock. So I wanted to play this one today. Couldn't get comfortable with it. That was a weird little wick there. That couldn't have been a real print. You can see here it's forming a descending triangle. Gonna watch that into tomorrow for a potential. There's a lot of things that are out there though that we can play. Good old Michi. Yeah, you like a good scratching. What a life you have. Day trade and ski afterwards. You're the man. Yeah, Enzo, but I want that for everyone. You know, I went skiing yesterday, and but I want you guys to have this life too. That's why I teach. That's why I'm on here for free for you guys. That's why I'm explaining to you guys my thought process. Because I think that I always base my training and my strategies based in how I teach, based upon what I didn't have when I lost half my net worth and what I wanted. And I didn't have anyone to really go to. I didn't have anyone to talk through things. I didn't have anybody explaining their strategy, showing me their P&L. Everything that I've made, my scanners, my course, the free YouTube, me going over my strategies, literally everything that I'm doing right now is exactly what I wanted when I didn't know what I was doing. Now, it might not be the same for everyone, and I know everyone learns differently, and I apologize if you're not getting the most out of this, but what I'm doing every day for you guys is basically creating the person that I didn't have when I lost half my net worth and when I was down in the dumps. That way, some of you guys hopefully don't have to go through that again. Now, the word is that 90% of traders fail, so always remember that. This is not easy. You guys have to put the time in. You guys have to put the work in. This is not easy, okay? Carlo Enzo, when are you going to design my house, man? I recognize you from the Instagram. Still waiting on the design. No, I'm just playing. But no, I just do like a little bit of it's all guided meditation. It's like on a little podcast thing, and I listen to a new one every day. It's nothing crazy. I just need to get my mind straight. And in the middle of the day, I generally try and just take 5 minutes to just like come on down, because trading is very wearing. So you have to know that. Anyways, guys. Lastly, what I will say is if you haven't already, please like. There's 170 of you live. Please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Lastly, I'm not a financial trader at your own risk. I'm not a financial advisor. Trade at your own risk. Have a plan, a process, and a strategy. As always, if you're interested in my free chat room, click the link in the description below. My course that teaches you my processes, check that link in the description below. If you're interested in the brokerage that I use, check that. If you're interested in being paid by a brokerage, if you just by signing up, which is no joke. Those of you guys who know Weeble's legit. They do pay you in free stock up to $1,400. Check that out. It's free money. Scanner software that I use, check that out. If you're looking for content, guys, like I said, price action, you can study it all day long. Go back and look through my YouTube content as well. I didn't really short much today. No, 619 short seller. Nope, didn't really, not a whole lot. Yeah, enjoy I might. Anyways, guys. Those of you guys on TikTok, enjoy my YouTube Cam the Man. YouTube Cam the Man. Here's my YouTube. You can see that there. You guys can join us on YouTube. I'm live. You can see my screen there. You can see me right there. Check out my YouTube. So, and a good question is, where should you start studying? There's no perfect place to start. I have a course, but I'm not just going to just shout out my course just because I have a course. But it is a great place to start. I think it's good for beginners. But, I'm not just going to make a sales pitch and say, hey, go buy my course. Because I really, I don't want your money. I just, I want the dedication and you telling me that you have the work ethic. And you telling yourself that you're willing to put in the time and the effort. And when you put your money where your mouth is, generally that's where you're going to follow. And more importantly, you will actually spend the time and study it. And all that's in my course is my strategies, guys. My GameStop trade, I think that I locked up over $600,000. I traded. That's the newest trade that I put on my course for you guys. So you can check that out. Go through my YouTube. If you can't afford my course, then go to YouTube. Guys, I have over 500 videos to study from. And you can see me progress as a trader. I have so much live documentation of all my trades. I always recap my trades for you guys, and I've been doing it for years. So go back and look through my YouTube Cam the Man. I have a free chat room. You can go back and look through all that content. There's never enough content that you can learn from. And honestly, if you're ever bored, then why don't you just study, right? Why don't you just study? If you're just sitting around doing nothing, you can just look at stocks for 10, 20 minutes, you know? And even if it's 10 minutes a day, oh well. You know, it might take you longer, but, you know, it's being productive with your time is what it's doing, okay? All right, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Click the